Hello everyone, in this video let us use the script runner to create a group in Jira. So for creating a group we'll be using a component accessor, and we'll simply use a component accessor to use or to utilize the group manager. So you can, if you're using IntelliJ, it is very simple to write scripts in Groovy for Jira, because you will get access to all the uh, Java APIs, and that is what you need. You can still do these things when you're using the script runner, because you have the script editor. So it is up to you how you want to do it. Now, using the component accessor, if you type in get uh, group manager, then you will have one method called create group. So if you pass in the group name as your uh, parameter, like let us say you want to create a group called demo group, and this is pretty much it. So this is a very simple script, yes, one line script, but this is all you need to do. Of course, we need to do some checks. We need to basically make sure that if the group already exists, then we need to cache that particular error, and we can do that, and I'll show you in a minute how to do it. So before I do that, I will run this. So if I go to my Jira instance, and if I type in my script here, create group, which is of course stored on the server, I can run this, and it will give me something which is not really meaningful, but at least there is no error. Now what I can do is I can take a look at my groups and verify whether I have that group or not. So if I go to the groups on under the user management, I can see a group called demo group. So what will happen if I press the run button again? I will try to create the same group with the same name, and if I do that, it will give us this error, which is expected because this group is already there. Now, what you need to do is you need to of course catch this error, and for doing that, you need to simply use the invalid group exception that is there for you on the console, that you can use to basically uh, make sure that the group, if doesn't exist, it won't throw an error. The script will run and it will display uh, some human readable error message. So what I can do, I can enclose everything in a try and catch. So I can do something like this: try, and I will write here catch, and I will have the line which I will move. I will have this line move to the try block, and this is quite good. And under the catch, we have to catch the error. So we'll copy the, not this one, but we have to copy the exception, invalid group exception, and you can simply paste it here. And you need to use a variable to basically do something with this error. So you can type in maybe I invalid group exception. This is good because it's following the same uh, exception name with of course the starting with of course the small letter. So you can, oh, by the way, if you want, you need to basically import a class. So you can press Alt Enter, and you can say import class. It will import the class for you, and you can see here on top we have invalid group exception, and now the code looks good. So what we can do here is we can do something like this: go log.error, and you can type in here group error creating the group. You can also do something like this plus maybe invalid group exception dot message. So if you run this now, let us see what happens. Hopefully there is no error, which is what we want. But if you look at the log, the error is quite clear that group already exists. And this is what we should be doing if you're writing scripts. Always make sure that you are catching all the errors. Now what I want to do is I want to also move this group name to its own variable. So we will use something like this, um, demo group, and I will use this name here, which is group name. And this looks quite good. I may also want to add a message here, something like log dot. I'll just use log.error. You should be using log.info, but just to display a message, group created. And what you can also do if you are using, Groovy, the good thing is that you can also do something like this, dollar group name. So you can basically include the variables within your string, and this will be interpreted for you when the code is run. You can also do the same thing here, error creating the group, dollar group name. Let us run this and let us see what happens. Run. So it will give us the message here, demo group. I may want to also maybe add a comma here, I believe, just to, or maybe something like this, some delimiter. I'll go back to my script, run, and this looks good now. So we can see this meaningful error. Let me test it with maybe a different group. 1, 2, 3. Go back to the script, run, and group created demo group 1, 2, 3. If I run it again, demo group 1, 2, 3 will uh, not be created because it is already there. So it's a very simple way to create a new group, and you will be using this quite a lot. One thing that you should be doing if you are collecting scripts or defining your scripts or creating a repository of your scripts, you should. This is what I do. You don't have to do it, but when you are using Groovy or when you're using Scriptuna for doing something with Jira or other Atlassian tools supported by Scriptuna, I personally create a method, something like this: define a method, add group, and the parameter could be group name, um, and I will basically copy the same code and I will move it here. So this will basically ensure that I can simply, whenever I have to do the same, whenever I have to use the same code, maybe in a different code, I need to reuse it, I'll simply copy the whole method and I will reuse it. So I keep a repository of these different things that you can do with Jira. And you need to, of course, call this particular method, add group, group name, which is something that you can pass. And of course, we'll test it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll run this again. Hopefully it works. Yes, it works. And I'll run it again to show you the error message. So demo group 1, 2, 3 cannot be created because it exists already. And um, so we do have this error here. Not really an error, it really works. Cannot infer argument type. So yes, you need to basically specify the argument type. Good practice. String. So you know that you're passing a string in your function, in your method. So this is all I wanted to share in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.